I met with God in our flower field and asked him, "What do you say I am meant to be?" I explained to him that I have heard things from pulpits that confuse me. Words are thrown around with no ample explanation for what they mean and don't mean. Submission, weaker vessel, helper. Do the men in robes and collars not realize how concerning those descriptions sound? I hope that most preachers don't mean anything bad, but I know that some do. How am I supposed to tell who is who? They're not on the receiving end, so they don't seem to get how intently I'm listening when they're talking about my God-given capability and value. In elementary report cards, I was praised for showing natural leadership qualities. Now that I'm grown, these qualities aren't celebrated, just tolerated. They assure me I am valued too, just in a different way. They don't use the word lesser, but they don't have to. It was embedded in every other sentence, and I feel the religious filibustering trying to break down my defenses. What does it say about me if my Creator made me to be less? Am I just an accent piece? A garnish? Something appreciated and desired but not crucial to the room? Is that what it means to be one of God's daughters? I grew up hearing horrific statistics from around the world. Child brides, dowry burnings, Sharia law, female mutilation. And one day I realized that it was mere luck that determined I learned those things from a textbook and not experience. I know our world is broken and we are called to be better. So God, who do you say I am? Because amidst the lovely stained glass, I hear scary phrases and teachings that are wrapped in pretty bows of religiosity and order and holiness. But something inside me screams, this isn't right. So I began to ask questions and dig, breaking nails in convention, wondering whose answers to trust and whose are a trick. And when my fingers were raw and my breath was lost with my hope, I ran back to God across the field and begged him, tell me this isn't you. He squeezes my hands with his scarred ones, renews the strength in my palms and lungs, and bids me to keep digging, to follow the sound of his voice. I know it well. Every murmur and hum, I spent years studying his cadence and inflection. My Father's heart is not a mystery. He has always given it to me freely with every flower petal. So unwilling to settle, I dig and dig, hunting for the rhythms of his vocal cords, content with no others. I come face to face with giant stone walls, built from man-made bricks of well-intentioned misunderstandings and ill-intentioned control. I press my palms against them, searching for God in these teachings. Will they fall? Or have I come face to face with an immovable truth that I was not created equal? Each time I hold my breath and hide my threatening tears. And each time tears of joy flow from the stone as he knocks down wall after wall after wall, not a single one is left standing. Each crumbled brick is a piece of lost context that tells me exactly what I was created to be but was somehow never taught to me. Details that must have fallen between the lines at seminary, making sure I did too. My soul smiles as I realize something. That voice in the back of my heart screaming, this isn't right. That wasn't my voice, it was his. My Father's heart has always been nothing but loving pride towards his daughters and rage towards their mistreatment. When others throw stones and shame, the God of the universe picks us up. When our words are disregarded and disclaimed, the God of the universe picks us to shout. In a cacophony of politics and perspectives, each trying to call me by a label, he calls me by name. I was not created to merely satisfy a man's needs. Skin and sweat, blood and bone, woman, built in his image, created to know him and make him known. Anger rises in me, fury at how that has been ignored. I tell God what he already feels himself. God, I grieve for the girls juggling labels, trying to fulfill the endless can'ts and shoulds. I grieve for the girls sitting in pews who never question things out of a choking desire to be good. I grieve most of all for the girls who heard their fellow man say something about them and mistook it for you saying something about them. But there is no crime committed against me that he does not see, and no unfair or invalidating forgiveness that he asks of me. Because when God asks me to forgive an abuse, He does not ask that it be excused. He asks me to trust Him who sees it all with the restitution, to let go of the burden of justice so that He can fill my hands with something better. To stop trying to find healing in someone else's conduct and to find it in remembering who He says I am. Because a diamond is still a diamond, even when someone tries to rub dirt on it. A daughter of God is still a daughter of God, even when she feels like the title doesn't fit. He made the canyons and the mountains and the stars and the sea, and yet when I was a girl, He wanted nothing more than to sit with me in our flower field, delighting in my childhood imagination. And then I grew up, and He wants nothing more than to sit with me in our flower field, delighting in our conversation. And when my hair is thin and gray and I'm as old as I'll ever be, He wants nothing more than to sit together and delight in me. What a wonderful, wonderful thing it means to be a daughter of God.